T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff.
Welcome to Sport Weasel Central. I'm Lugs.
I'm J-Boy.
And I'm T-Dog.
Give us 20 minutes and we'll give you indigestion, maybe? I don't know. College football, the stage is set. Number 1, LSU versus number 2, Alabama. T-Dog's favorite, Joe Burrow, now leads in Heisman speculation. And Taggart, you're not it. Willie's sent walking. In the National Football League, Week 9, Lamar-Valors took center stage. Who are these Niners and how do they keep winning? Gentlemen, let's get to the bottom of this. First, college football. Whoa, Nelly, take it away. Here we go.
We had bye weeks all around here, but it did get interesting moments in LSU, Alabama, Penn State, Ohio State. This is going to be a weekend that makes a difference in everything.
Penn State, Minnesota this week.
Oh, when's Ohio State?
That's the next week.
Ohio State's got Maryland. Is that right?
Yeah. But it's Minnesota, Penn State, in Minneapolis.
Undefeated.
Yep. Yeah, they're both undefeated. So,
but Penn State's going to just clean.
It's the battle of the old Oaken bucket. No, that's a different one
Indiana,
altogether. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Different idea. Keep going. Never mind.
Maybe it's the 10 bucket or something. I don't know.
Might be.
I was going to say the one I was wrong on in terms of we're talking about big predictions going last time. I was wrong about the Georgia and Florida. Florida played tough, but it really came down to just Georgia, one, was able to run the ball. It was 119 rushing yards to 21 rushing yards. Any coach will always tell you, it really comes down to third down conversion and turnovers. The third down conversion, Georgia completed 2/3 of their third downs to 22% for Florida. So that alone. And Jake Fromm, who was awful in that South Carolina game, didn't play that well in the Kentucky game, but that was rain, so I'm going to kind of just wash that one away. He was red hot. He kept converting them, moving the chains, and he's the reason they won.
Exactly right. No turnovers in that game either, which is astonishing.
Yeah.
Why is nobody talking about that kid for the Heisman?
Fromm?
Yeah.
Oh, because the South Carolina game where he had 3 interceptions that cost him a game against
other than that, he did okay other than that.
He'll be all right. He'll get drafted. I don't know where.
What about everybody pushing, Young from Ohio State for, a defensive guy for...
Chase Young?
Yeah.
Chase Young.
Actually, to be fair, Chase Young should be in the running for the Heisman. And honestly, we would talk about him more, but, you go back a few years, I think it was the year where Colt McCoy won, or I don't know, I'm probably getting the quarterback wrong.
Hang on, I got all that. What year was that?
The year Ndamukong Suh should have won. Where he essentially almost won the Big 12 game against Texas as a defensive tackle. Yeah. Like, if he can't win it, then, to be fair to your point, Lugs, Chase Young should be at the top of the – because a lot of these quarterbacks, obviously, they get to feast on bad defenses for the most part.
Well, you ready for this? According to the Toledo Blade, which lists LSU quarterback Joe Burrow top, Chase Young 2, and Oklahoma State running back – is it Chuba or Chuba?
Chuba.
Chuba
Hubbard.
Chuba as 3.
To be fair, statistically, he has 4 200-yard rushing games, which Barry Sanders did at Oklahoma State, and also he's I forget what statistic he's in the running with for Ricky Williams. And both the years that what he's done statistically, when those guys had those years, they won the Heisman. So also that just also shows you how much it's changed from even when Barry and even Ricky Williams, which is a lot closer to now. But as good as Chuba Hubbard is, he's not gonna win.
And they're not going to give it to a defensive player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they?
No, it's a quarterback's award anymore.
Yeah, the last one to win was Charles Woodson, who played wide receiver
You are
and also
right,
special
sir.
teams. So
You are right.
Yeah,
Yep.
Which was what?
Woodson,
97,
hang
98.
on. 1997 Michigan cornerback Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Charles Woodson.
And Ricky Williams was 98.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be fair to your point, he should be in consideration. Look, it doesn't matter. He's going to be he probably will be the top draft pick. If he's not, he's the second draft pick. So he's going to end up winning in the end, long term, over some of these quarterbacks anyway. So.
And Ricky Williams still thinks it's 1998, so it doesn't matter. And Terry Bradshaw said that kid from Ohio State is going to be the number one pick, in his opinion.
Oh, Chase Young?
Yep, that was his prediction over the weekend.
Well, let's put it this way. Again, like we talked about, Nick Bosa is damaging as Nick Bosa has been. Chase Young is done statistically. Not that all always works out the same way. He's been more dominant than Nick Bosa. Now, Nick Bosa was injured for most of his last year, but still.
Yeah.
All right, Willie Taggart. See you later.
Oh, well, we predicted that Sport Weasels kind of got on.
That's an exclusive right here, right now.
Right there, baby.
Breaking news.
Let's be honest. They really haven't had a steady coaching job since
Jimbo.
Well, I don't even think Jimbo was that steady.
He had a lot of good years. I mean, you want to go back to Bobby? Is what you want to do?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Bobby's obviously.
I mean, it was the last time, because with Jimbo, they had a couple of years there, but by and large, man, it just kind of evaporated. Of course, he wasn't willing to bend things the way that Bobby was. Is that
to be fair, it's always like it was a different era. Is Bobby Bowden a better coach than Jimbo Fisher? I don't know. I'm not going to say. Like, it's just like to be fair, we kind of talked a little bit about Nebraska before the show. It's like Tom Osborne is a great coach, but like that's a different era. Like
Tom Osborne. Wow.
Wow. I mean, look, we've gone back to Woody Hayes, and we're going to be back to the Gipper here in a minute.
Well, something the opposite of Woody Hayes. The most exciting game on Saturday was SMU Memphis.
Oh yeah,
where it was
absolutely right.
It was a complete firefight, and I just want to say it was again like I do enjoy some defense, but I'm not opposed to like just completely like just run up back and forth. It's a fun.
Yeah, it's basketball.
Yeah, I mean. One guy, let's put it this way, the wide receiver for Memphis, Antonio Gibson, he had 130 yards receiving, 97 yards rushing, and 150 yards returning, and then 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, that's...
Yeah, I like scoring myself,
It's like watching Division II or Division III. They just sling the ball, and whatever happens, hand it off, cloud of dust.
And did you see, like, the aerial shots from Memphis? Like, they had that thing packed.
They did a great job.
It was like, they were in a major bowl or something.
Yeah, I'm just going to be so sad when Norville leaves.
Okay, what's your prediction on that? Do you have one for that?
So you going to FSU?
He's definitely going to be one of their top candidates. Wouldn't you all agree? I mean,
yeah.
How long has he been at Memphis? Is it 4 years? 5?
It's been at least like 3 to 4, and they lost some big name players last year. Tony Pollard went to Dallas, and then Henderson, he's the running backup for I was going to say Steven Jackson. Oh my God, Todd Gurley for the Rams. But like they just reloaded. So like and just also just you look at like how good they are at running the ball. They can just gash anybody.
But the American Conference is probably not bringing it for him. I mean, there's better places to play ball.
Yeah, well, FSU is definitely in the running, but obviously, is there any other like big programs that like the coaches that on hot water? I'm just trying to even think of.
Well, I think that Harbaugh got off of the snide there with that win over Notre Dame, but if he hadn't have, then there might have been.
I mean, USC job's going to be open. Definitely. I don't know. So I don't know if Norville's really in the running for that one. And I'm trying to think of any in the
Pac-12 or the
ACC.
SEC.
Yeah.
We got to say Jeff Brom's probably disappointed he didn't take the Louisville job now.
Ooh,
he's that's a tough year he's had there.
The wheels fell off of that kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the idea that Stoops or Satterfield would be considered for that job. It's just not happening. I think Stoops might want it, but in his heart of hearts, he knows that he can stay at Kentucky and have a job and be steady forever. You go to FSU. I think there's more going on at FSU than just Taggart. I think that there's a culture issue down there, and they just need to figure that out. Because when you pop a coach in the middle of a season, other coaches are going to look at that and go,
What did he coach, about 18 games, tops, 16? It was only like a year and a half, right?
Yeah, it was
a year and 3/4?
Yeah.
You're right.
So, I mean, if you're a coach who really qualifies for a top job, and FSU is still a top job, it is, I would be a little leery of committing to those guys. If it doesn't work out, you got to give me some time. But, but I'm going to say right off, I'll save it for the wild-ass prediction.
Okay, save it till then.
All right.
Other thoughts on college football, or shall we move it on?
Let's move along. Well,
I'll just keep it real quick. Baylor still undefeated, so they're still it's the Oklahoma saving grace possibly to getting back in the playoffs is beating them. And I'll just say real quickly, Stevie Scott for IU having a big game. Had 116 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Smoked Northwestern. Now, I don't know Northwestern is bad this year, so I'm not going to.
Their ACT scores are down, too. I don't know.
Oh, no, that's bad.
Hey, I was listening to the radio, and I mentioned to you one
sure.
and Buck. I love Buck. But
Don Fisher.
Scott kid, he can run the ball.
Mm-hmm. He'll play on Sunday, won't he?
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, he's a good
I don't know how great he'll be, but he'll definitely play. So.
All right.
National Football League. Okay, Lamar-Valors Jackson. Wow, that was a great game on Sunday night.
Hey, was that the passing of the torch?
I'm not going to so far as to say the passing of the torch, but let's put it this way: Ravens have always played Patriots tough since Harbaugh got there, and they definitely had a game plan that the Patriots did not have any clue how to stop.
No answers.
Oh, that first quarter, you could see it in the Patriots' eyes, man. They were like, what's going on?
Highlight film.
I mean, that one guard, that right guard for the Baltimore, I can't remember. Yonda.
Yeah.
I mean, he took out Van Noy, and he took out another defensive lineman on one play. I mean, took him out, put him on the ground.
Yeah, and they ran some kind of like option things with Ingram, and obviously, they had like multiple backs in the backfield where they would fake
crazy
it going
misdirection
one way.
stuff.
Yeah, so it's just, and again, it only works if the coaching commits to what Lamar can do right now, and obviously, again, like I said, like the thing that's so fun about Lamar is he's gotten better as a passer. Obviously, he hasn't really got to show it because I just think I think mainly the receivers aren't good enough, or they're just raw. Like he's expanding as a quarterback, but still they're utilizing his ability to run. I mean, they ran for 210 yards, 5 yards a carry. So I mean, they just absolutely.
There were a couple of times when they had him hemmed in. He's 10 yards behind the line. Got him hemmed on both sides and 2 guys, and he runs right through 2 of the guys on the left side there and was just gone. It was one of those, and that touchdown that he scored down close, I mean, there's nothing there, and yet he snakes through. And
then Orlando Brown just
drags
pulls
him.
And then,
I'll help you get in the end zone. Come on, follow me. Just let me drag you.
I mean, he puts people in the seats. I mean, guys, all those announcers were saying, listen, we don't care what the game is. If Lamar is playing, we tune in just because you want to see this.
And on the other side of the ball for them, I just think, they got back, I'm blanking on the one corner. They got a cornerback. Obviously, they in
Earl
the trade.
Thomas?
No. They and then they back in the trade. They got Marcus Peters. So, like, their secondary is coming into form. They're kind of gelling now. And obviously the talent they have in their secondary allows them to be more aggressive in the front seven. And I think it's also opening up, like, their defense like reaching another level. So I just think as well as they played like through the first half of the season.